So, good morning, everyone, good evening, and good afternoon to viewers from all walks of life. This is Nikymus, and you're all welcome to the channel of truth, enlightenment, freedom, and the channel of breaking empaths free. If you are new, on this channel I talk about narcissism, narcissistic abuse, I talk about spirituality, I talk about personal development and growth. And if any of that resonates with you, guys, give us a like, share the page with the friends, share the video with the friends, and subscribe if you haven't done so. If you haven't done already. And for the ones who've always been with us, you are welcome back, and I thank you for your love and support. Now, this is a video I'm going to make about my journey of spiritual evolution. I know most of you guys, if you haven't healed, if you're still struggling to heal, and if you've just left a narcissist. So during the process of healing, you will very much be interested in chapters and subjects concerning narcissism. But the more you heal, you're going to find yourselves as well gravitating away from this kind of subjects, because at the end of the day, you're going to realize that actually you have evolved and you've actually moved into the new version of you. So eventually, you might find yourself as well very much concerned about spiritual growth, topics about self-development, and things that are actually going to move you to the next level. So, but anyhow, I'll still talk about narcissism. Like I've already said, I'll come in and talk about it when I can, depending on depending on the day and the situation and how I feel. But at the same time, the energy that I've embodied recently, it makes me want to talk more about spiritual growth, because it's not all about narcissism. Life is not all about narcissism. There's so many things going on in life apart from narcissism. There's so many things ahead of us. And I want to share with you in this video one of the things I discovered. Some moments after my awakening, could have been like a couple of months after my awakening, one of the things I discovered, and how I started to feel about TV. In my previous lifestyle, that was before my awakening, my lifestyle before the awakening, it involved a lot of watching TV. So those are the days when I could find myself watching. You just sit down on TV like for 10 hours, 5 hours, you're watching soaps. These soaps will never seem to end. You know what I mean? You will watch a soap from beginning to the end. And then sometimes there are those series, there are those episodes and whatever. So I found myself watching a lot of TV. Now, when I got awakened, like I said, most of the cases you step into authenticity, and you are trying to discover and become the best you can be. You're trying to move into the new version of yourself. The very first thing you're going to discover, guys, for the most of you who have gone through awakenings, is that you're going to stop watching a lot of TV. Now, when we talk about watching TV, we don't really mean we don't watch TV at all. Yes, we have got TVs at home. We even watch sometimes TVs. But when I say no more TV, what I mean is you are now going to start gravitating towards the subjects. Most of those things, the videos you want to watch, are the videos that actually are going to move you to the next level. You no longer have that time to sit down in front of TV and watch episodes from 1 to 10, and watch movies that actually are not even feeding you, not even serving you. Most of those things we've been watching, most of the times, most of those things, they have even been part of the problem. So most of the cases you will find that you are no longer whatsoever interested in watching a lot of TV. You are going to watch TV, but you will sit down in front of TV and you find yourself finding only the programs that are going to teach you something new. You know what I mean? So I noticed that actually I was gravitating away from TV. I lost a lot of interest. I couldn't, for me, sitting down in front of television and watching a movie from beginning to the end, it started to become very boring for me. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, I realized that actually this TV that I was watching for the most of this time was even actually the biggest problem, was part of the problem itself. You know what I mean? So what happened is, I was going through a spiritual journey. I started the very beginning of my awakening ignited my spiritual journey. So what happened was I started gravitating towards only channels that feed my soul. You know what I mean? My soul now started to yearn for information. So what happened was that I started to go into channels that want to help me to evolve, because at the end of the day, when you awakened, you start to evolve into the new version of yourself. So most of the cases, you're going to find yourself gravitating away from all these kind of toxic things. You can imagine, guys, for the most of you are still into TV. You can imagine waking up every morning and you switch on the TV and there's there's a bombing, there's been a bombing. You watch things about Iraq, there was a bombing in Iraq. You watch things about how many people have died of COVID. You watch information about who has killed a girlfriend, who has killed his girlfriend, or these things like that. The TV has always been part of the matrix. And most of the people, even sometimes subconsciously, most of the people end up getting dragged down to that dimension, to that frequency of low energy. Because I can guarantee you guys something. Whenever you wake up in the morning, the very first thing you watch on TV, if for the most of you who have got TVs, who are watching TVs, the very first thing you watch is going to actually determine the rest of your day. You know what I mean? You may not know it. You may do it subconsciously. You may not know it. But if you just woke up in the morning, and all of a sudden in the morning, you switch on TV and there's been a bombing in Iraq. You know, there have been a couple of deaths, about a couple of COVID deaths in the other side of town. There have been some new infections. There have been this. There have been that. Most of the TV guys, I can guarantee you, most of the things you watch, especially the news, those things are secretly programming you for failure, because those are very low dimensional programs. They are very low frequency programs. If you tune in, if you allow your brain to tune in to things that are very low dimensional, things about death, things about diseases, things about this. Even sometimes I'm finding myself kind of gravitating away from narcissism, because in my opinion, I think that narcissism, very low frequency, is a very, very low vibrational subject to even talk about. I just talk about because I want to teach people, but not that even sometimes I really enjoy talking about narcissism. I talk about narcissism because I want to help the people who are just getting out of those partnerships and those relationships. But at the end of the day, people, I can guarantee you, when you're evolving and becoming the best version of you, you're going to start gravitating away from the things that are not serving you. And unfortunately, or fortunately, whichever way you want to see it, TV is going to be part of the problem. TV is going to be part of the things that you're going to stop, you're going to cut out of your life. You're going to watch TV, yes, but you want to evolve. So you're going to always find those subjects that are teaching you something new. You know what I mean? The knowledge you've never known before. Or I can talk about hidden knowledge that is going to help you evolve to the next level. So most of the cases I found myself in those early days, in my early journey of spiritual awakening, I found TV very boring. There was a time when I would spend like weeks. I would spend a week even sometimes without switching on. And I was wondering what exactly is going on, because that was not me before. It wasn't the person I used to be. But I found myself gravitating away. I found myself that even I wanted to throw the TV out of the window, because it was coming to that point whereby the TV is even too boring to look at. I would just switch on from program to program to program. And believe me guys, each and every program I tuned into, there was something negative going on. So most of the cases, the TV is feeding you guys with a lot of negative information. You have got to wake up every single morning and learn something new. You have got to learn something that is going to make you evolve. My teaching about narcissism is to helping you to heal. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, when you heal, you're going to discover that actually TV is not making sense anymore. So I talk about narcissism because I want you to heal. I want you I want most of the cases, the victims of narcissistic abuse, to help you walk through the journey of healing, because I share with you the things that I used myself to heal myself from after narcissistic abuse. But at the end of the day, when you heal, guys, I can guarantee you, you're going to find yourselves embodying a new energy. You're going to embody a new frequency, which frequency now is only attracting the things that help you to grow and help you to evolve, to become a new version of you and to move you to the next level. So for the most of you who are watching TV now, I don't say you guys should go on and throw your TVs out of the door. No, that's not what I mean. At the end of the day, I also still watch TV at home. But it's very important, guys, to wake up each and every single morning to tune in to the programs, tune in to the channels that actually feeding your soul. If a channel is not feeding your soul, guys, I can guarantee you it's not helping you to evolve, and you're going to find yourself stuck in the same place, the same day, over and over again. You'll never move to the next level. You know what I mean? So you can always tune in to things that are teaching you something you don't know, teaching you something new. You know what I mean? TV, yes, TV is okay, but at the end of the day, I've even sometimes started to educate my kids about television, the things they watch. Sometimes you see these kids, you know, even I just believe actually sometime at some point, this TV has always been part of it. We just didn't see it before. It has been usually been part of the problem. Ever since we were kids, we have been watching those programs that have been usually programming us, even for failure. Most of the cases, those things we've been watching ever since we started watching TV, they have been programming us for failure. You can imagine you're a kid, you're watching something about deaths, you're watching about bombings, you're watching something about bad news, sicknesses, disease, and all these kind of things, because the news is always there to tell you something bad. When I was in school, they used to tell us that no news is good news. You know what I mean? Because the news is there to give you only bad news. You know, you wake up every single moment and you tune in to bad news. Yes, there will be something good, of course, eventually there will be something good, but you're going to notice actually that most of the cases, most of the programs, like almost 80% of the things they talk about on the news, they're usually bad news. If it's not the weather, if it's not something that is good happening in the town or something like that, most of the cases, 80% of the news you watch on TV is usually bad news. And I can guarantee you the brain needs only 7 minutes to synchronize with whatever it is you're watching. Now you can imagine watching a movie, watching a horror movie, or watching a suicide movie or death movie, or whatever, a murder movie, or whatever these kind of movies they usually put on TV. You can imagine watching that kind of a program. After 7 minutes, the brain starts recording whatever it is you're watching, because now the brain starts to synchronize with whatever it is you're watching. That is if you are putting your focus on TV. And whatever it is you're going to be watching after the 7 minutes is going to start getting recorded. Now I can guarantee you guys that at some point in life, it is going to even sometimes affect the way you think and the way you live your life, because it has already secretly been programming your mind. You've seen about these kids in school. I don't know which country you live in, but you've seen about most of these kids in school, universities, or whatever. You might hear about kids who are getting guns and going around in their classes and shooting other students in class. You've heard about these shootings in America. These guys are watching it. It may be TV, it may be even sometimes the video games they are watching. They think that actually these things are real. The brain has registered that, and the brain is now telling them most of those things, they're actually real. It is real life, is the way life is supposed to be. So those kids now will start to copy and even sometimes to be programmed to do the things that they're watching. It is what happens in the society now, because most of the kids, especially the children, I'm talking about the children, those children, they are programmed to do and act and practice those things that they watch on TV or even sometimes on the video games. So most of the cases, the parents out there, you might have kids. You might want to start actually controlling, even sometimes minding what your kids are watching on TV, because whatever it is they're watching, people, I can guarantee you, it may not happen it may not happen eventually or even sometime straight away. But at some point in time, most of those things, they are going to start reflecting back in your kids' life when they start to grow up. It has happened to me all of a sudden, like I've said, it has happened to me when I work, and that's when I knew that actually most of this TV that I've been watching, it has always been part of the problem. It's just because now that I was aware of the things I need to watch. Because when I went through the process of spiritual detox and starting to detox my brain from toxicity, get rid of toxicity, I found out that actually TV was part of the problem. Sitting down watching long horror movies, sitting down watching a lot of sex movies, episodes, things, and sometimes films that are not even serving me. I started to become aware of those things, and I started to cut them off immediately. So in this video, guys, I just wanted to share with you what has been my journey and my experience with TV, and eventually why I decided to quit watching just anything. I watch TV eventually, but I tune into the things that are serving me, and eventually the programs that are going to help me evolve and are going to teach me something new and to help me move to the next level. So most of you guys on the spiritual journey is going to happen to you eventually. When you start all of a sudden gravitating away from TV, you have to know you're evolving. You have to know now you're identifying. You started to detox and you're identifying most of those things that you've been involved with that actually even not serving you, the things that have even been, most of the cases, part of the problem. So in this video, guys, I want to know what has been your experience with TV. What have you seen along your journey? If you've been like me, if you've started to notice all these patterns of the programs and the things you've been doing on TV, I want to know in the section below what has been your experience. Other than that, guys, it's been lovely to have you guys on board. I'll speak to you soon. Much love and blessings. And Desmos signing out.